She clearly didn't know how to follow the directions. I mean, just on okay. So on the first reaction, I want to ask you, Sabrina. You a woman of faith, right? You belong to a church. You got a good pastor.
Are there any?
Wow! Shots fired. Bang, bang, bang. Uh, what did you think when you saw this?
I don't know that I was surprised. I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew up in the South. I've been in church all my life, and I've seen some stuff. I mean, I've literally been in church where in services where it's like, well, we raised $500, but we need seven, so y'all gonna have to go in them pockets and come out with some more. I mean, I'm from that era, so I can't say I'm surprised. I am disappointed though, because there's so much going on right now, and people are struggling. And just, I mean, what my reaction was the unmitigated audacity.
Unmitigated.
I'll take the 1,200. Send it to me, sis. I'm okay with that.
He said, "I ain't asked you for
Don't worry
12.
about the 8.
This ain't the 1,200. This wasn't. I ain't asked you for that. I asked you 2,000.
Yeah. Who are we? Who are we to tell people, you know?
Or like Andrew Caldwell says, who are me to judge? Y'all remember that? Who are me? Anyway, Dr. Charm.
At first, when I saw it, I was disgusted because I was like, $1,200 is a lot of money to be given at church, especially all in one lump sum. But then when I did hear the background that line was supposed to be for people who were given $2,000 and above, so then I questioned, like, why would she stand in the line for $2,000 and above if she came with $1,200? So was this attention-seeking behavior? Because she could have just not gotten in that line. I think his reaction, though, could have been way more diplomatic, and just a nice and kind thank you for the 1,200 would have sufficed.
I want to show the instructions because I don't think the instructions was as clear as what they're trying to say now. And then did you get Fred Hampton's Fred Hampton? Yeah, Fred Hampton. Fred Hammond. Did
Fred
you get
Hammond.
Fred Hampton. Did you get Fred Hammond's response when he was trying to clarify it? He just made it more confusing. Did you see that on Shade Room?
I did. Give me a second. Give me 1 second.
All right.
You want me? Are you ready? Are you gonna get everybody's reactions and then go to it
first? As soon as Dr. down, I want to get everybody's reaction.
Dr. Felice, what's going on? Y'all wrote today. What is going on?
I love it. I love the spontaneity of live TV. Let's go. Yes. Dr. Felice, she over there having a conversation. Listen, honey, she over there telling the people in the background what they need to be doing. What's happening, Dr. Felice? Is she on mute or is she still?
And okay. You muted.
Is you on mute? Or who you talking to? Us and them, Dr. Felice?
I gotta take Dr. Felice off the stage.
Yeah, can you take me off mute?
Oh, okay. I was gonna take you off stage.
Go ahead, Doctor.
You good?
My dog is cutting up the food. He's cutting the food. My dog.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
instructions.
So y'all know I'm always on another end with y'all, and I'm okay with that. And
Love it.
This is what I thought, right? Because I grew up in the church, holiness, and
y'all had it rough.
Yeah, we rough, and the thing that I always go to the scripture. Touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm, right? So I don't touch God's prophets. I just don't. And then second, I didn't have full context, right? And so if you read in the Old Testament, God would give specific instructions to his prophets for his people. And if you didn't follow those instructions to the law, right, things either wouldn't go a certain way or they wouldn't occur the way that God intended for it to occur. Now, I do know that now we're in the dispensation of grace, so it's a little different, but I don't know the full context. I don't know if he gave specific instructions. I don't know if this was a special offering for something like maybe the church, maybe a building or something. And so he was given, and so sometimes pastors get instructions that there's a certain number of people who are to give a certain amount of money in this order. And so if that was the case, then she didn't follow the instructions. It had nothing to do with whether or not he didn't accept or wasn't grateful for what she was given. It's just that if he is the head of the church, and pastors have a way bigger accountability to their congregation. This is just my opinion. Like, I just think that I don't know what he got from God, and that's why those were the instructions. And so that's where I'm going to stay. So I didn't have any kind of like, ooh, from it. I do know it was from her heart. So regardless of how we feel, God saw her heart. And so she's okay in that sense, that God saw and recognized her heart. Now, as far as, you know, whether or not he gave instructions, then she possibly didn't follow them.
Dr. Felice, I love you. I love your heart. And I just want to respectfully say that Black people are always going to find a way to give a pastor an excuse. Black folks is always going to find a way to give church people some. Church Negroes be the worst Negroes. I don't care. That was inappropriate and out of order. But also you, Dr. Sabrina, down there, because you know what you remind me of? When I used to argue with my ex-husband, he wouldn't even listen. He'd just be like this the whole time. I'm like, you're not even listening to me.
I just want to know if Dr. Felice was the first lady in her past life.
I mean, I disagree because I don't believe pastors are the head of the church. Christ established the church. Christ is the head, not man. And that's why I think a lot of us are kind of screwed up and we get so disappointed in man and what man does. But that's not my belief. And I don't think that people have a right to tell me what to give to God, because just like he speaks to other men, he speaks to me too. So I don't think anybody has that right to tell me what to do. My Bible says, and I'm coming from New Testament, as a man purposes in his heart, that's what he is supposed to give. So for somebody else, just because you tell me, you instruct me, and I don't read that in my Bible where anybody is supposed to instruct me on what to give. I give from my heart. And I think that's what messes people up. So I can't defend anybody.
Dr. Sabrina, if you go to Pastor Marvin's church, you will be obedient and you will comply, or you will not be a member.
That's okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not being a member. I don't have to be included.
Oh, Jesus.
I like me better like without all that light, and I was too light anyway.
Oh my God.
All right, Miss Black Hollywood, what happened?
You know, well, I just saw things falling and all of the things. Okay. So
talking too much shit.
Just rogue. Everything is just it's falling apart. You know, I hear I've seen all the videos. I went down the rabbit hole, and I am someone in the choir. I am a part of a celebrity church, right? Warren Campbell is my pastor. First Lady Erica Campbell is my first lady, right? And it still doesn't feel like this at the church, right? There's never a day when I'll get up and give an offering, and I could ever imagine Erica Campbell saying, in all of her celebrity, saying, take it. You're just gonna accept it. Like, I feel like it felt like first of all, it just felt humiliating. I was humiliated for her. I was like embarrassed for her. Now, I get like there's a $2,000 line, which is out of control, and then $1,000 line. But I listened to the instructions, and it was like 1,000 plus 1,000, 1,000 plus. Like, I could understand how Miss Roberta got up and was like, I'm just sowing my seed. I just want to give. I just felt like his heart just wasn't postured for her, and it came off really cold and rude. And I think that's where the distaste came from for me. It was just the distaste of it all. It's like sometimes I feel like we can be a bit even, and I watched this even on our own show, right? When people are a little too like out of touch with what normal people are going through, and it's just like, just do this. I mean, all you had to do was like, I hate that. Like, even on our own show, sometimes I want to make sure that we still have a relatability to what people are going through, and we're not just talking over people. And I feel like it was a moment when he kind of was talking and kind of like projecting over her when it didn't need to be.
Can you imagine, though, that this is probably something that happens quite frequently? Mm-hmm. Just one incident of this happened. We're going to talk more about it when we come back from the break. because there's so much more to talk about. Let's go.
All right.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So no.
We're going to do this a couple of ways. Those that have the 1,000 plus 1, that means you're coming with your 1,000 that you're giving, plus you've asked someone else to give. Now, you don't have to stop at 1,000, and we're going to deal. So in other words, if you say, Pastor Winans, I'm coming with my 1,000 plus another 3,000, then you'll say that. You understand? And if you didn't get the plus 1, but you maybe came with $250, you're going to come say that this is my 1,000 plus 250. You with me? And we're going to go all the way down. So I need you, in order for this to work, I need you to come when you're called with the offering that you're bringing.
Now you tell me if you would have been like 1,000 plus 3,000 plus the 1,000 plus the 250, because she brought $1,235. So y'all wouldn't have been confused because I feel like she followed the instruction.
There are quite a few people who said they would have just taken their money back. If it wasn't a 2,000 and he was complaining.
It's a
can I
fact.
get that back, Pastor?
Yeah.
My question is though, and this is where I guess I'm at odds, and I've been in the church and I've been conflicted for a long time, y'all. So this may have been the wrong show to have me on, because I'm just gonna tell you how I feel. I don't feel like it's anybody's business. I don't even think that needs to be public. To me, that's public humiliation for me to have to stand up and tell everybody what I have given. And especially now, people are struggling. So the unmitigated audacity to have people stand up, and I got to tell you what I gave, tell you I'm out here asking other folks to give. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe I did. He said, you have asked someone to give. Maybe she did ask somebody else to give, and all she could come up with was $250 or $35 or however many dollars. But I just don't think that's necessary. Right. If the point was, well, as I understand it, it's a building fund, just say, okay, bring your offering. We put it together. The committee goes in the back room, count it up, and then we make acknowledgement to the congregation of how much was given or donated. Together. But to have people stand up, and I got to tell you, I got to come before the church and let the church know, that ain't right. And that is not Bible. I don't care what nobody says. Show me the book, Bible. Show me the chapter, the verse.
That is not Bible. Listen, Dr. Sabrina, people is buying groceries on Klarna, god dang it. And you talking about $2,000. This lady bought $1,200 and
$35.
$1,235. And you told her to sit her ass back down because you ain't asked for that. Like it's absolutely insane. But I do want to ask the chat, what was your thoughts? And I see you guys in there, because who was that said, that's my thought. Jada said, I'm so hot with this crazy request. I would have definitely took my funds back. All the other members should have walked out. They're not going to, because they are indoctrinated as well. But now, Dr. Charm, that you've heard his instructions, You said, I didn't know, because maybe his instructions were this. Now that you heard the instructions, what you think?
It was clear.
I still think he didn't have to embarrass that lady, whether she gave the correct amount or not. And I understand where Dr. Sabrina's coming from about, because I had that thought about maybe making it anonymous or everybody put it in the little envelope. But on the other hand, it's the same argument when people film themselves on Instagram giving food or giving money to homeless people, like, oh, they should do that in secret. I think when people give publicly, it encourages other people to give.
That's why they doing it.
Yeah, I think it encourages other people to give. It can inspire other people to give, but he didn't have to embarrass her.
I ain't with that, because this is about, so when they talk about this is your gift to God, right? This is what you bring. This is between you and God. This is your part of your worship to God. Your worship to God isn't anybody else's business. So I remember at my church, and I love my pastor, I love my first lady, but one thing they would do is the tithers. You guys come up for special prayer. Now, I always tithe, but I never went up for special prayer. Because why? Because for me, it was the outer appearance to show everybody else, these are the special people who tithe. Nobody else gets special prayer, but these folks right here. And so to your point, Dr. Felice, we supposed to be following instructions. I'm not following that instruction, because I don't believe that that's an instruction from the Lord. I don't believe that that's something that we should be doing. And my tithe is between me and God. But for you, Dr. Felice, now that you heard his instruction, do you still believe that?
So I don't believe the instructions were clear. No. But then thank God that you have a mind, and you know that regardless of what your pastor or any person in authority has to say, you still have a right to do what you believe out of your relationship. And so what I'm hearing right now is we are robbing people of their accountability. Just because he said it doesn't mean that they have to do it. And so that these people, and I'm going to give them their own right that they chose to do this. But I sit in churches, I'm from church, love church, will be there. And just because my pastor has said or requested something, I still know as an individual in my personal relationship with my Lord Jesus Christ and Savior, I don't have to necessarily do that. And so where do we hold these people accountable that just because he said it and he requested it, they didn't have to get up there and do that? And so we're acting like these people.
Are you blaming her?
No, I'm not.
I think there's some pressure. I think pressure.
I'm not blaming her. And I do believe that he came off harsh. He did. And I also believe that the instructions were not clear. But I don't touch pastors, right? I let God handle them in their own personal relationship. I personally don't touch them. By any means, y'all can touch them as much as you want to. And so I'm just saying that's my personal choice. I don't touch them. And so what I'm saying is that it did sound rude. The instructions weren't clear, but I'm also holding people accountable that they have their own relationship with God. And if something doesn't sit right with you, you do not have to do it. That's
okay. First Lady Felice.
Black Hollywood, Tara, what's your thoughts on the instruction?
Yeah, obviously, I didn't think the instructions were clear. Like it didn't make sense. When he got like 1,000 plus 1,000, and then if you're giving somebody that's gonna give you 1,000, and then even if you have 1,000 plus 250, then come on up, right?
And she said, then, I got 1,000 plus 235, and
right. And so Miss Roberta got up, and I loathe that they had them get up on the mic and just be like and profess this thing and all of that, and just. I hated it, right? But I do think I think we should also add something to this conversation. We talk about responsibility of people, but I think that a lot of single Black women kind of live in a bit of a psychosis when it comes to church. Like I go to church and I see people will put everything on Jesus and everything on God, and
they
so
be married to Jesus.
I mean all of it. You get a person that is like. In that state where they will literally rob Peter to pay Jesus. They will do anything that they can to be, for the prosperity gospel of it all, right? You give me this, I'll give it back tenfold. I'm gonna take my rent money and give it to the church. After she professed, here's what I have, she said he made her feel bad, and then she said, I'm trying to come up with the other 800. I feel like if that, like, I know Miss Roberta ain't got no husband. I know it because there's no way. I'm saying there's no, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's a
Ain't no man. Yeah.
single men. It's like there's this dynamic with pastors and single black women that they can do these kind of things, and then the women are just so vulnerable. I think that they
80% of black
become
churches
so,
are 80% of black
yeah.
churches are of women are yeah, black churches are mostly women. And you're absolutely right. They waiting on Jesus, they waiting on the pastor. Pastor said this, but here's the thing. I love God, and I'm always say that I love God, but I think what happens is people wait, they are so caught up in their religious ideals that they're forfeiting their good life here for when I die. And what people don't understand is you can have a good life here. You
Greater
can live
later.
your life in abundance here. And I think a lot of times the church, I'm not saying God, has corrupted the minds of a lot of these women, and they be waiting on, I'm gonna go to church every Sunday, I'm gonna do all these things, and God's gonna send me a good man. And here they are at 70 dying alone. And it's unfortunate, but it is. The church has black women in a stronghold. I really do believe that.
I have a question.
Can I interrupt? So
Yes.
where is that person's personal responsibility? Like at some point, you have to have your own relationship with. I go to a church,
Right.
but I have my own relationship
The
with
teaching.
God.
So are you saying that we're not supposed to believe the teaching that we're being taught? Because let me tell you,
Let her finish.
I go back. I listen to what my pastor said. I listen to and then I go back and I do my own studying to show my own self-approved with my relationship with God, not the one according to my pastor, but mine. And that I have a relationship with him where he will instruct me, guide me, and give me the unctions by which I am called to do something. And so I don't believe that the church, I think people choose to have their
Dr. Felice, you got to look at where people are coming from. People are vulnerable. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the understanding. People are babies. I could say when I was 7 years old is when my dad got saved. Okay. My dad didn't know nothing about the God. He could barely read at the time. And so he comes in the church, they automatically make him a deacon, automatically give him responsibility. So in his mind, he's thinking, I got to serve the church, serve the church, serve the church. So it's church and God, because he didn't know the difference, because he wasn't taught the difference. Then it was his kids. It was what everything else. And my mom was somewhere down here at the bottom of the totem pole. He didn't realize until he grew up in his faith that he was out of order. So this is what the church had indoctrinated him with, is we want you to work because we want you to help us build this kingdom, but they're not teaching the principles. So when people are coming as babies, they don't know. So you're putting this accountability on people who don't really even know.
I'm on top of the fact that, I know a lot of us don't know the history of the church. Like, we feel like it's Jesus, or God. And this is me coming from but a lot of things were indoctrinated from slavery and during slavery. After reading Dr. Claude Anderson's book, it really just changed my ideals of church. Even though I still go I love church. Like, I grew up in the church. I love going to church. I go to church every Sunday and I don't miss it. I go to choir rehearsal. I go to Bible study. I'm that, right? And I still understand a lot of things that other people don't, that, slave masters were telling the preachers, the black preachers, to tell the slaves to sing songs. And it, like you said, Constance, it'll be greater later. Work hard. God is going to reward you later. Just give yourself to, it was this, give yourself, be happy and content with all of where you are in life, and give everything that you have, and later God will reward you after you die. Right. So there's this thing that we've been told, and we don't even know why we believe it, but we just believe it because,
And what if that lady had taken that $1,200 and invested that in the stock market or gotten some crypto or something? And it just begs the conversation of all this money that we are tied that could be going to businesses. I remember there's one church, I think it was in the Carolinas, the church would actually pool the money and buy people's medical debt and pay it off. Or they would pool it and gift it to one of the members to be able to do a business or to have savings with. Like, where is that economic responsibility that the Black church should have?
I have an even deeper question that I want to ask, because I've always wondered this one. And I've seen in the chat, and I've heard us use this word on this platform a few times today. Why is it that we are always told when it comes to church and money about the tithe but we are not taught, educated, or required to tithe like the folks in the Bible tithe. Our tithe is that 10% of our money. But if you go back and you look at what they tithe, it wasn't just their money that they tithe. It was a whole lot more than that. So it's almost too like when you listen to a lot of these people as it relates to money, and that's because this is what we're talking about. We are taught so many things about money as it relates to tithing, but we're not really taught enough about money. I am a life and legacy planning strategist. There are biblical examples of estate planning in the Bible, although you won't find the word, but who is teaching us? Where is the church leaders that are out there having people like myself to come in and teach people about preparation and about a good man having an inheritance for their children's children and putting that together? That's in the Bible as well. But for some reason, all we seem to talk about is the tithe.
Dr. Sabrina, they cherry pick what benefits them, and that's the bottom line. But we'll talk more about it. Hold on, Dr. Felice. We'll go talk more about it when we come back from the break.
Okay.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming.
In that viral video,
right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call, and that's all that was.
Again,
one thing. Black,
oh, he's humble.
Oh, he's so
humble.
Oh,
he's been humble. But one thing Black folks gonna do is give the pastor a pass, baby. Dr. Felice, when you were saying we were getting ready to go to break, you were responding.
There are churches now who are doing a lot about financial literacy in their churches. I just looked it up. The National Black Initiative, 35,000 Black churches that are now teaching financial literacy in their churches. You got Dr. Jamal Bryant, you got T.D. Jakes. Like, there are Black churches who are teaching their parishioners about legacy wealth, not just about the tithe. So I need to make sure that we give the full picture so that people don't think that the Black church is out here just pimping folk all day long. They are not. And it is still our responsibility in our own individual relationships with Christ that he will start revealing things to you. And because your heart is pure and that you have opened it up to a shepherd, he will eventually guide and evolve you. You're not going to stay in your infant stages. You will evolve, and he's going to honor everything that you have given. Let me just put that out there too. And don't get me, and you know, we make all these criticisms, right, about the Black church. But if you got to think about, y'all just talked about the history of our Black church. So our Black church still needs to evolve just like our people do. And we are getting there. our churches are changing. They are getting there, and they are starting to do the right things for their people.
I love it, Dr. Felice, because it ain't just a black church that's pimping people; it's the white churches too. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some. They all pimping. Let's take a look at take a look at some of the stats before we go to the next video. So, a 2024 Pew Research study found that 61% of black church goers believe churches today focus too much on money and not enough on ministry. Before we go to the next one, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys believe that the church focuses so much on money? No, let me ask you this. So when you have a pastor that makes 1,000 times more than his average parishioner, is that a problem? Is there a disconnect there? So you have a pastor who lives in, a home in, a $1 million, multi-million-dollar home. He has, a Bentley or Rolls Royce, and he flies. Either he has a private jet or he flies private, and his average parishioner is struggling to make ends meet. Is that okay? Dr. Felice, I want to start with you.
Shame the devil. Shame the devil. Tell the truth and shame him.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on that. No, because I don't know. Like I can't answer that. Like, so if it's only from the tithes of their parishioners, that's where they're getting their income. Because a lot of pastors that I know that I've seen that has all of this, they've got book deals, they've got production companies, they've got businesses that are very profitable that contributes to their bottom line. And I don't believe that it's solely based upon the congregation's tithe that they're able to fly jets.
Yeah, so you think about TD Jakes. He doesn't take a pay. He doesn't take a salary from his church. He gets his money directly from everything else. But there are pastors who do. So I'm talking about the pastors who do.
You're gonna have to go to the other people.
She said she's not gonna talk against.
I was just trying to make sure that we were clarifying that we weren't talking about the folks who make money in other ways. What about you, Dr. Charm? What do you think?
About these pimp preachers?
If that's what you want to call it.
It's just, to me, it's like every corner. You can go in the black community and you see a church on every corner, but do you see black-owned businesses on every corner? I just think we have a dysfunctional relationship with the church. I think we're guilted into tithing and so forth and so on. No one should be in a position where their rent or their utilities and things are not paid, but the church is paid. It's ridiculous at this point. And the prosperity preachers, it's like every other month there's a new story. Creflo Dollar asking for the jet. Marvin Sapp locking the church doors. Like it just comes off as greedy, and you don't really see this outside of our community.
Oh,
it exists in Christianity as a whole, but it's just it's just amplified, I believe, in our community.
Amplified, but
it's amplified, and it also is dysfunctional because they may have prosperity preaching in the white community, but the white community has higher amounts of wealth than we do, and so it makes no sense for all this prosperity preaching in a community that has an average net worth of $1,700.
I can dig that. You're right. Miss Black Hollywood, what are your thoughts? Do you think that it is okay for a pastor to live 1,000 times better when he's just solely getting money from the tithes and the offerings?
Well, I don't believe that pastors are solely getting the tithes from just the church, right? Like if you haven't met, I just don't believe it. I like what Dr. Felice said about them having all types of deals and other things in place and getting money different ways. Because I know that for the most part, I ain't seen our first lady in like 2 months because she's just been on the road and doing different things, and then I know that all of it isn't coming from the church. But what I will say is what I think is good if pastors like that share their process with their parishioners, create programs within the church, just kind of like open that up so they're not the only one eating. Because here's the thing, if I'm the richest person in the room, I've failed everybody, right? And I'm the only one that's rich out of all of my community. I failed everybody in there without like sharing the knowledge. This is what I did. Here's how you can do it. Also, and not in a way where it's like, let me take all of your money and show you, but not show you how to figure out how to make money. It's just, so that is my opinion on it. I just think that in most cases it's not like this. Like I think the TD Jakes and and Marvin, Winans, and all of them are kind of an anomaly. Like most churches are small or medium sized. They're not living on, flying jets. That's a small percentage of our pastors.
But there are some mega churches who don't have anything else. Because I know a few of them out here, and their pastors have multi-million-dollar homes in my neighborhood that they don't have any books or they don't have anything else. They have the tithes and the offerings from the church. So while it may be an anomaly, while it may be small, it's not an anomaly. But before I ask you, Dr. Sabrina, somebody said, I just want to point out what Tyler said. She said, or he, what did he say? If the pastor there's nothing wrong with it if he's building up the church. If he's financially rich, he put in the work and created something and is reaping what he sowed. So she's saying it's okay if he basically built this church up and he's reaping the benefits because he put all this money. Because he put all this time in the church. So she's okay. The problem I have, Dr. Sabrina, is they will bring all this money to the church. People will bring their last because we're taught to bring our last. Like if we pay our tithes, we're going to get blessed. But then something happens, we can't pay our rent and we stand in line and we ask the church ain't paying our rent. And the whole point, the whole purpose of us having this given to this is because it's community. The church should be taking care of the people as well as the people taking care of the body of the church. And it's not happening. So Dr. Sabrina, what are your thoughts? Do you think that it is okay for a pastor to make 1,000 times more than his average parishioner?
Make more from where?
From the tithes and offering. From the tithes and offering.
There was a comment that passed by a few minutes ago about the boss, with the boss road and versus what some of these people are riding. And I think that kind of sums up, and I can't find it. Miss Black Hollywood, I don't know if you can find it right quick. Somebody said something about what their boss rode versus, Mo Williams. Pastors and congregations need to keep in mind their boss wore sandals and rode on a burro, no Bentley, no Gators. I go back to Christ's example. He was a carpenter, chances are when he was going out and he was going around, he probably wasn't making, thousands of dollars more than people, other people. You had the disciples. A lot of times they were fishermen. Chances are they probably were not. I have heartache with that, you guys. Call me biased or whatever, but I have seen what you're talking about play out, Candace. Constance. I don't know why I'm thinking you're Candace again today. Constance, seen this play out where churches, pastors literally take advantage of the people. Now call it, and I agree with you, Dr. Felice. A lot of it is on the people, mindset and this, that, and the other, but I still think it's taking advantage of people. And that's just my personal opinion on that.
Yeah. Respectfully, Tyler, it's okay for a pastor to live 1,000 times better if he's created a following and built up his church. I think she's what's wrong, or he's what's wrong with the Black churches, because we will give these people any excuse to live any kind of way and do any kind of thing because we've been so church indoctrinated. Let's go to some more stats.
Yeah. Okay.
According to Lifeway research, 1 in 4 Christians say they have question on how their churches use donations, but most never ask out of fear of being judged or labeled unfaithful. Dr. Sabrina, do you care? For me, I don't care. Like after I give it, after it leaves my hands, if I somebody on the street, if they go smoke that shit up, that's on them. I gave with a cheerful heart, but
I do. And the reason why I do, Constance, is because I pass by the streets and I see people on the street. I see that weekly. Okay. I'm in a state where a few months ago, a woman gave birth on the sidewalk. It does matter to me what's being done with these funds. We have a state of emergency here in the state of Mississippi. Babies are dying out the Watusi. Black babies, over 3,000 have died so far. it matters to me what they are doing with these funds, because there are things that our community need to address. We can't sit back and wait on anybody else to come save us. So the church is really where we have the ability to pool our resources together in masses and have the greatest impact. Yes, it matters. It matters whether the person is, going on trips and buying bags for their wives and all of this foolishness that I have seen. I don't know about anybody else, but I've seen this stuff done. It does matter.
Dr. Shar, what do you think? Does it matter to you, dear?
Jesus wasn't flying around in no jumbo jet, Creflo Dollar. He drove the money changers out of the church. I think we have lost sight of the original message of Yeshua in this, the churches now, and the message that's being spread reflects this capitalistic, materialistic culture. It's just a reflection of the culture as a whole. And I don't think it's going to change really until this culture changes.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I 100% agree. It's this rugged Eurocentric capitalism thing that we're in. And this is the reason why they play into it. Everybody want to be rich. Dr. Felice?
So I think when people search for churches, they should do their research, right? I've been a part of 2 really great churches here in my area. And the first church that I was a part of for 15 years created their own women's shelter. So when the Salvation Army was in overflow, they came to our church and we treated those women well. And we were good to them. We also had our own apartments for low income housing. The church I belong to now has just opened up a beautiful 4,000 square foot home for pregnant teenage moms so that they know and have a safe place to raise their children. And they're also building a new church for the new millennial age so that they can have the state of the arts and worship God the way that they know to worship God. So you got to do your research. There are churches out here that are doing the work, that they are taking care of their local community where they are. They are doing that. And so go ahead, find those churches that are taking your money and they're pouring it back into their communities in tangible, real ways. That's who I congregate with.
I'm with you, Dr. Felice. Don't give if you ain't did your research, because I'm not going to give and then got to worry about if they're doing the right thing. I'm not going to give to somebody who's not doing the right thing anyway. So once I give to you, I'm going to trust that I've done my due diligence and that you're going to do what the evidence shows that you've done. That's where I'm at.
I don't want my tithes going on the First Lady Birkin bag when I can't even get me a Gucci or a Poochie. Okay.
Ooh, not a Poochie. Miss Black Hollywood, do you care?
I'm gonna say this. From the lens that I give it is to God. Almost like I'm giving, like my heart is giving. I'm thinking like once I give it over, it's coming from my heart. It's a percentage of my income, that 10%. But on top of that, I may myself take that 10% 1 month. And Lauren and I do this with my daughter. Like every Tuesday, we'll find somebody to feed. Right? It might be at the gas station. It might be when we getting off it just whatever my spirit says, or I'll let Lauren pick the person out, and we'll go either buy them food, or if they're like, I don't have no money for this or whatever, I'll just make that the thing and have Lauren give the person the food, or I tithe in different ways. I don't always do it that same way, but once I give it over, I'm praying that God, what we say every time we give an offering is it's not a debt I owe, but it's a seed I sow in Jesus' name. And so that's what we say every time we give offering. It's not a debt I owe. It is a seed I'm sowing into the kingdom of God. And whatever comes back to me, it's never monetary, but I feel like every week I'm protected. I feel like that exchange with God there is a part of me that like I'm willing to put some skin in the game and fund God's house, right? Like keep the lights on where I go and I praise God every week. So I don't know. I just think that you can't just come and not expect to give something. It don't have to be your rent, but give something to the house where that fuels you, that feeds you. It's like, I give where I'm fed. So I think of it like that.
But that's another question I have for you, Felice, since you're very churched. Are there is there a substitution for the 10% that you bring to the church? Because she says that she gives based upon, you know, like she'll give to charity, she'll give to this. Is that a substitution, or should that be above and beyond? Should that 10% go to the church? But before that, see, this is the problem with they believe anything. Problem is people go to church, donate, and feel like they've done something for the community. Maybe stop looking for a church to do for the community, begin to do it for the community. Why don't the church do stuff for the community? But anyway, I digress. The church
That's the purpose of the church.
That's the
purpose of the
church. Anyway, this must be a pastor that be taking everybody money. So Dr. Felice, is tithes, is that another form of tithes, or should that be above and beyond?
So I think you give what you have, right? So when we saw evidence of people, like one lady gave from the alabaster box, she gave from her the perfume that she had. What you have and what you have to offer, that's what I believe God will accept. It is your heart, because people are giving 10%, but their heart's not right. Well, He's not doing anything with a heart that doesn't really feel or want to give. And so I think it really counts about how your heart is. Whatever your heart is to give, and you doing it cheerfully, I think that's what you should give.
Not grudgingly or out of necessity, but what?
Cheerfully.
Cheerfully.
We got a lot of things. We got a lot of things to do. I got some other things for you.
All right, let's go.
We almost over. So you want me
to? Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. So let's read through the rest of the stats. I gotta crack the whip today.
Crack the whip on me, baby.
All right, let's see.
So megachurch budgets can range from $10 million to more than $80 million annually, yet fewer than 10% of the churches share public financial reports with them. They don't have business meetings. That's crazy. All right, what's the next one?
Okay.
Despite controversy, many churches still play a major role in community support, charitable giving, and disaster relief. The challenge is finding the balance between genuine generosity and financial accountability. All right.
You have some comments? You want to go?
All right, let's look at some of the comments from the controversial video.
Okay.
So y'all can show the same video from beginning, middle, and the end, right angle, left angle, front and angle, or back. It's still not justifying this behavior, and God is not pleased. Tyler will say something different. I don't care who chopped it up. She gave that what she could give. So to me, his reaction as a leader was still, in my opinion, out of pocket. And Fred Hammond thinking that it's okay is also delusion. That's the church. It's Tyler.
You want another one? Or you want to go somewhere else? Okay.
Let's do another one in the video. He literally said, if you have 1,000 plus, then say 1,000 plus. That's exactly what she said. He explained it and said, if you only have 1,000 and someone gave you 200, then say I have 1,000. Yeah, he did. It was so confusing.
That's what he said.
But then to get on the news and then try to justify the shit is crazy. All right, let's look.
What I was trying to tell her was that I really just wanted her to get. Oh my God, the manipulation is so real.
It's blindly following these leaders. It's not acceptable to me. And see, I'm Christian now, but I spent 10 years as a Muslim, and they didn't have all this emphasis on tithing. Like for Islam, I think you give like 1%, and it's like one time a year after Ramadan, after you fast. And it really took me out of that disordered mindset, I have to say. I really do. And the church I support here in Atlanta, it's one of the small, little old Black churches, and you see where your money is going. I just like to be places where I see where my money is going.
Amen. Let's go to the next video.
Okay. Here we go.
Anonymous, stupid.
I was laughing at him.
They understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people.
I hear the voice. 5,000. I'm doing this over because I want them to see this miracle. If you will sow 5,000 right now of the 18,000, God is going to release wealth on you. You're going to get an increase. And it's not going to be later, it's going to be soon. Hallelujah. In Jesus' name. You that come on Facebook live stream and just push and have these miracles that's happening on the phone so people can know that you need to call in and get your miracle. Listen, I can pray for you, but I've trained people to pray for you, and they will see the miracles happen in your life. I want you, I don't care if you say, well, I just sold $70 yesterday, or I sold something. If you don't have that much, sold $10. Listen, when a word like this come forth, you need to act.
I cannot.
All that begging. Stop begging.
Can I share? Let me share a quick story with you guys. So I was in a choir, sold out for Jesus. We was a choir that sang back up for MC Hammer when he turned gospel. We was the one. So I played the bass. I played the bass. So there was this gospel singer that came to town, and he did that. He said, "I want everybody to bring your ones and tens and 20s are cursed. Bring them to the altar." So he told them they were cursed and to bring all this money to the and people were shouting and falling all over the place. Later on, we went, because after we would sing, we would go out to like IHOP or something or Denny's or whatever, and we would eat. And so then he kind of noticed me because I was kind of over there on the side. I wasn't really like, I didn't do all the silly ass church shit that they would do afterwards. I wasn't into that. I would play my bass and I would take my ass home, but I wasn't saved, super holy saved like everybody else. So I wasn't in the crowd. So when he came out before, I wasn't there. So when I'm here this time, he was like, "Oh, she kind of cute and she played the bass." So he was like, "Hey, will you take me back to this brother's house?" This is a gospel singer. He had gospel album out and everything. So he takes me. We go to this, we're going to this house. We're in San Jose, and he goes, "Hey, can you go up to the mountains real quick?" He just got done preaching and, falling out and cursing the money. And he's told me to take him up to the mountain so we can go out and look over the city of San Jose. So I was like, okay, I'm 18, 19 years old, right? So we get up there. This man, now he's all over me. And then he grabs my coochie like this, because I wouldn't have sex with them. So I'm thinking, oh God, I feel like a Jezebel. I am tempting this man of God, and he's like, hey, baby, please, baby, play, please, baby, play, please. And I'm like, no. So he grabs my crotch like this, I have my
Release.
And he said, "Lord, in the name of Jesus." This is what this nigga said.
Release.
Lord, in the name. You said you don't put your mouth on preachers. This is a bishop, and he was slightly halfway famous back then. "Lord, in the name of Jesus, if Nisi," they call me Nisi, "has sex with anybody else before she has sex with me, let her get pregnant on the first try." And he said, "Better yet, Lord, give her a disease if she has sex with anybody before she has sex with me."
Oh my God.
He just got done cursing the ones, the fives, and the 20s in the church and preaching the Holy Ghost all over. I don't trust them kind of Negroes.
And he tried to curse your coochie.
And tried to curse your coochie.
The devil is a lie.
The devil is a liar. This is the kind of foolishness. This is why I don't deal with church Negroes, because they be the worst Negroes.
That's not funny, Constance. I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
I mean, I laughed at it, but it was so real. Like, that was what that reminded me of. This nigga just got done cursing the ones, 5s, 10s, and 20s, telling them to bring them to the altar, and then he cursed my coochie after I wouldn't have sex with him.
And that's why there's these pastors that are sleeping with multiple people in the congregation. You hear about the one that spread herpes in the congregation. Yeah. See, this is why we cannot follow people blindly. You don't need an intercessory to have a relationship with God. It's helpful to have a leadership, but I got a personal relationship with God, and I got a personal relationship with my Bible, and I don't need anybody in between us.
Right. And this Negro had the nerve to tell me when we sitting up there, Kirk Franklin came we had him at this thing. He was sleeping with all the girls because he was sleeping with all the girls. This guy was sleeping with all the girls in my choir. He tried it, but I don't know if this really happened, so I can't say. But this is what he told me. But this is what he had done, because he had been through all these other girls. And then, he was like, "Oh, she cute and she played the bass. I want her next," because he had been through all of them.
That's
Curse my coochie. Anyway, we're gonna do our final thoughts. Dr. Sabrina, are you okay?
That transition was that segue was something.
It just that last guy just brought back bad memories for me.
And I wonder what he did with that cursed money that he cursed.
We gotta get Dr. Sabrina out of here.
Let's put some holy water on it.
We were so young and dumb and vulnerable. That's why anyway, Dr. Sabrina. Oh shit, we lost one. Dr. Sabrina, go ahead and do your final thought.
Release.
Release. Relax, relate, release. This has been one, you guys. Thank you so much for participating today. This has been really interesting. What I will say, I do agree with all of our panelists today. And I think we have to be mindful just because people are clergy. It does not mean that we should blindly follow them. We have our own minds. We can form our own relationships with our God and use our best judgment. At the end of the day, no matter what type of instructions that others give us, we have a responsibility to be good stewards of that which has been entrusted to our care. So with that being said, I'm going to let that be my final remark, and I'm going to pray for you and your curse coochie constant.
It ain't curse no more.
That's it.
I am Dr. Sabrina Edmund Williams, educator, author, and investor, and prayer intercessor when I need to be. I'm sorry, I'm cutting up over here. This has been good. I am a life and legacy planning strategist. I've said it once, I've said it twice. October is National Estate Planning Awareness Month, and we have got to start thinking forward about our wealth and passing on our wealth to future generations. I can help you if you will allow me to. My handle is down there right by my name at I am so noted. That's I am SEWNOTED. It's been good being here with you today, Queens, but I gotta go. Bye.
We love you, Dr. Sabrina. Enjoy. All right, Dr. Charm, what are your final thoughts and where can we find you, lady?
My final thoughts is that we need to have minds of our own. We need to have our own relationship with God and spirituality. And everything that a preacher says just because they're on a pulpit does not make it canon. That is has gone on from time immemorial, that the church has been corrupt. It has the potential for corruption. So you have to be able to think for yourself. Okay, give with a cheerful heart and know it is not cool to embarrass your parishioners during a service that is nationally broadcast. My name is Dr. Charm. You can find me on Instagram, CharmGirl77, for comedy shows and funny skits. And you can also, if you want a reading, spiritualcharm.com.
Yay, Dr. Charm. Yay, good stuff, lady. Good to see you, sis. Miss Black Hollywood, what are your final thoughts?
Sis, I can't believe somebody cursed your vagina. I just cannot believe it.
And he did. And did.
Have you felt anything since then?
Absolutely not. I didn't get a disease and I didn't get pregnant, so I'm good. We wasn't really cursed.
I want to know where he is right now. What is
somewhere being
on the internet,
somewhere forcing himself on women clearly and releasing them. Yeah, as a woman, and I'm gonna just say this, as a woman that goes to church regularly, like I said, I love God, but what I love about my relationship with God is that it's personal, right? When I go into the church, I allow the church to usher me into a space where I can connect with the God that created me, right? And so everything else is theatrics, everything else is like I can read between what's happening. I don't know. I could just see production. If it's production, I can see it, right? When we have a praise break, I can be like, okay, like, I know the difference between all of the things. And I think that's just that awareness of just understanding what's going on around you and not getting so caught up in the spirit that it allows you to move foolishly in a way that's going to have you evicted or sitting outside. I mean, just, be aware, be aware of what's happening around you, be mindful and vigilant, right? So I would just say that my name is Tierra Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood. I'm also known as Karma J. It just all depends on the day, baby. I am a storytelling expert. Also, I have a launch lab right now that I've started interviews, which have been very interesting for our launch lab. We are taking 12 entrepreneurs and taking them and getting their new business off the ground before 2026. So if you are interested, go to MissBlackHollywood.net. That's MissBlackHollywood.net. Set up an appointment.
Yay. Thank you, Miss Black Hollywood.
Yay. Why say it like that? Thank you.
I love it. So I don't know, like, give from your heart and don't worry about nothing else. I think we just really, I'm with Dr. Felice on accountability. I think we should be more accountable to what we do. And like you said, sis, I think that Black women, we're so caught up in church and being churched, and the pastors have really got a stronghold on us as Black women, that we really got to get a grip about ourselves. There's just no balance between, our spiritual walk and our carnal walk. There needs to be a balance. And sometimes we overdo it. Too much of something is never good. And so I think we got to start looking at things from different lenses. These motherfuckers is playing us. And if you stay caught up in the matrix, you will get, you're going to get bamboozled just like that. I think that was a prime example of getting bamboozled. And the fact that she went on the news the next day and took up for it, said a lot about her. And I think you're right, Tiara. She probably is a single woman. I doubt that she does have a husband, because nobody is taking no woman who has a man leader over her is gonna take that kind of foolishness. I think we just gotta do better. And just pray for discernment, just like Dr. Felice said. Where can you find me? Everywhere. I am Constance Carter. I have a new masterclass. It's called Don't Buy a House with Your Spouse. I talk about how to get more, how you can acquire more assets together. When we talk about Don't Buy a House with Your Spouse, it's not about, doing anything separate. It's not necessarily about, us, you preparing for divorce or anything like that, because that's what a lot of people thought. It's really about us building wealth and acquiring more assets together. My goal is to really help us to close the wealth gap as Black people. And I just try to, just introduce different strategies. So if you're interested in the Don't Buy a House with This Spouse strategy, go to buymoretogethers.com and pick up the book in the masterclass. It's all there for you. And I'm excited about it. And hopefully you'll love it and you'll apply it. Somebody said today, don't just be a hearer of the word, be a doer of the word. Okay.
Amen.
So listen, today's conversation, it was a good one, right? At the end of the day, giving should never feel like a transaction. And offering is supposed to come from gratitude and not guilt. It is meant to be a gift, not a grift, not a test of loyalty or a measure of faith. When pastors lead with love, people give freely. But when money becomes the message, the meaning gets lost. So thank you guys to our amazing panel. Let's end with the brother coming out the jet. And, just a little sayonara.
Well, I actually had a video for that, but you telling me how to run my show. You're going to tell me. You're going to tell me how to run my show. Let me
do what I say, Tina.
Okay. All right. I'm going to run both.
Bless y'all. Bless y'all. And don't forget your tithes, church family. We love you, Pastor. I love you.
Every woman can be knocked off. Every woman can be knocked. The coldest pimps in the game. Listen, pimping is the same thing as pastoring.
It is like
it's
very
just
close.
Using it in a different way, and you maybe have a different moral compass, because there are some good pastors, right? It's not all just bad, right? Yeah. But you're convincing people. It's all sales. You're convincing people to do the thing that's in their best interest, or what you're telling them is in their best interest. You sell your kid on why they should go to school and do the thing that's best for them. Hey, don't use drugs. Go in the front of the class. Don't be peer pressured, right? You selling your chick on why it is that she's supposed to be submissive and doing what she's supposed to do. Hey, stay away from your friends. Them hoes is for the street. Go and get some married friends. You're trying to convince them every day on doing the thing that's in their own best interest. So it's no different from pimping. It's no different from pastoring, right? They're trying to tell the congregation why it's important for them to go over to Jesus' side, get salvation, and make sure that you put some money in the collection plate because we got a building fund. But then on the other side of the fence, right, you got pimping. Now, pimping is bad from a moral compass perspective, but the nature of it is the same. You're convincing a woman to be your bottom chick. Listen, I got your best interests at heart. Make sure you go out there, collect that money from daddy and bring it home so we can make sure that we take care of the family. Whatever it is that they're doing. But understand this, every pimp is still looking to knock off another chick. You just gonna make sure that your bottom chick is staying down with you.